Right, we're going to try again now. Right, sorry about that. I've asked Al to come and get them. I wasn't really annoyed at the dogs as such. They just want my attention. I was annoyed that Al wasn't coming to get them. They have a Madden around now, you see. They have like they go out for their walks and stuff. They've had their walks. If you're wondering what's going on, if you're just joining me or if you're watching the replay, I had to end the stream because my dog's, one's a puppy, was just having a Madden and like jumping all over me, unplugging things, and I can't stream when I've got that happening next to me. So I'm going to try again. Owl's come and took them out the back now, so they're not here. Like I say, I've got no. They usually just lie next to me and stuff and do a little bit of give me attention, but they just had a complete Madden. And anyone that's got dogs, they're only little toy breeds. When they go mad, they are bouncing everywhere. And do you know what I think it is? I don't usually start a stream at this time of night, so I usually start at 8. So by now they're confused because this is their little mad time. So note to self, do not start streams at 9:30 again because it's the wrong time. So they're going to have their little Madden, run around, then they'll go to sleep. So sorry about that, guys. Thank you. Let me just get into... Oh, yeah, but it's puppy sabotage. It really was. Sorry about that, folks. We'll try again. They'll probably want to come back. I say I feel bad because they're my babies. I adore them to pieces, but that was just ridiculous. Okay, now I've got to try and remember what we're saying now. So we had the local election. Let me know if the audio's okay. It should be. We had the first ever mayor of Lincolnshire and the first ever mayor of Hull and East Riding, which is where I am. I'm in East Riding, not Hull, but they've basically, the East Riding is a rural county, and it's it's very, very rural where we are. And then you've got Hull Council, and they've devolved our area from Westminster. So they've decided to join the two councils. They're going to keep them operating separately, but they want a mayor over both. It's called a combined authority. And we've had our very first elected mayor. Now, the one that won it was this boxer, Luke Campbell, for Reform, but I'm going to get onto that in a moment. I was talking about the new MP before we went off. So then we had the Lincolnshire mayoral candidate for Reform that was Dame Andrea Jenkyns. Now I just want to add, I really like her. Okay, thank you for coming back, everyone. They were just, yeah, they were. Gizmo was trying to have a little nap, right? Because Gizmo struggles with his arthritis. He's only young, but he does suffer with it. So he was just having a little nap, and George was like, "Mummy's not giving me any attention. Gizmo's not giving me any attention. Daddy's disappeared out the back somewhere. So I'm just going to go and wind up Gizmo and wind up Mummy." And it just didn't end well. But look, never work with children or animals, folks. Everyone knows this. Anyway, moving on. I'm back, and that's the main thing. Dame Andrea Jenkyns is an ex-beauty queen, and she used to be MP, a Labour MP. I think, if I'm right, didn't she win Ed Bull's seat? He's only a puppy though, Terry Knowles Band again. He's very, very demanding, very headstrong, but so loving. Anyway, enough about dogs. The sabotage, the first one. Is the audio okay, folks? Let me know. So... now, the Runcorn, the by-election was the big one, that David Amess, and is that right, David Amess? And he assaulted a member of the public, as we know, a constituent, and he had to resign, but he weren't gonna. He went on for a long time. He got off with jail as well. So he had to go. Now, that by-election, even though the people are so fed up with this government, it is a massive Labour stronghold. It is what they call the Red Wall. Excuse me. And for the Conservatives are never going to do well in that area up north. They're never going to do well. The only party that could actually take take on Labour in that area is Reform. Now, I was watching this last night. I stayed up to watch the results, right? I would have streamed it if I just wasn't so tired, but I was just too tired and I just stayed up and watched the election results. I don't know whether you guys know how close it was, because this is for the MP, not for the mayor. And between Reform and Labour, they finished counting, and they've never ever had this before. Well, not for a few decades. There was 4 votes in it. 4 votes, and nobody knew which one had won. All they knew is that one of them, either Labour or Reform, had won by 4 votes. And it was like nail biting time, because obviously I wanted Reform to win. Just to let you all know, again, I'm sorry if we've lost people, but hopefully you'll all come back. I'm a Reform member, okay? I am. Yeah, I'll tell you in a minute, Timmy, that happened. I am a Reform member, but I didn't vote Reform in my election. But I didn't vote for anyone in the end because I couldn't vote. Long story, but I couldn't vote. I didn't have my driving licence on me. I had a photo of it, but I couldn't find it in the house. So I took a photo. I had a photo on it. I went to vote. I live locally, so like they must know who I am. No, you can't vote. So I didn't get to vote. But if I could have voted, I would have voted Conservative. But we'll talk about that after. So, but I am a Reform member, but I don't like my mayor, my candidate, and who's won. I'm not keen at all. And I've made that clear on Twitter today. But anyway, so the Reform and the Labour, we don't know which one won, but they won by 4 votes. Now, when it's that close, the person who comes second demands a recount. Okay, they demand a recount. So, but at the time, neither candidate had come into the hall. Farage wasn't there, but that Zuzif, whatever his name is, the chairman, I know a lot of people don't like him. I don't know much about him. I don't dislike the guy, but he's obviously funding Farage quite nicely. So I've got no issue with him, but maybe he needs to step back a bit and just stay out the limelight because he's not very popular with the members. But anyway, he was there and he looked quite annoyed, and the media were like, oh, they've obviously lost. Now, they did a recount and I dropped off in the end for a couple of hours. I woke back up again, and they said, right, we're going to announce it now. So at the time, there was 4 votes in it, but we don't know who won. But whoever came second demanded a recount. Can you blame them? If there's 4 votes in it, someone could have counted a couple wrong. So they recounted it, and they announced that Reform were the winner of the new MP at Runcorn. A 5th MP. It would have been 6 if Rupert Lowe wouldn't have left. Now, apparently, it was Reform that won by 4 votes, and Labour, I don't blame them, demanded a recount because it was so little. When they did the recount, it was actually 6 votes. So they actually increased their votes from 4 to 6. Oh, the irony. So somebody had actually, maybe accidentally on purpose, not counted those 2 extra votes for Reform. But either way, Reform won. So congratulations. That is amazing, right? That is amazing. So there they've got 5 MPs, would have been 6 for not for Rupert Lowe. Talk about Rupert Lowe at the end of this because it's not about him, it's about the elections, but I will give my thoughts on him. So then you've got the candidate, the mayoral race in North Lincolnshire. Now, I really like Dame Andrea Jenkyns. She was a Conservative MP. She left the Conservative Party because she'd literally had enough of how they were acting. They're not Conservative. They're literally full. They are absolutely full of Liberal Democrats. They are, how can I put it? They are more into this big one government. What was it that David Cameron used to say? I can't remember his slogan, but it was something like one government, one, you know, we're all in it together, which is a communist term. Right, let me just grab up this. So we're going to be... I just think this is fantastic. I'm I'm just going to get this up. Now, I know it's the BBC before people start moaning, but there's no ads on it. So just bear with me, guys, because there's nothing worse when I'm trying to show you stuff and it's ads, ads, ads. Hi, Peaky Blinders. Let me sort your spanner out, bud. Hold on. If you're coming in, remember it's a new channel, so I need to sort it out. All right. Thank you, everyone that's here. I really appreciate you guys coming back. Honestly, I really do. All I ask, if you want to comment, if you just subscribe. This channel really does need to grow. It's not growing. I don't use it much. So I could really do with helping you guys, helping it grow a little bit. If you can share it and, you know, because the more it grows, I will try and put more effort into it. It's just having the time. Obviously, I run other channels, as you know. So Dame Angia Jenkins, and when that happened with the reform recount was going on, they then went back to this. Now, they called her, as they gave her the projected win. It was around 2 a.m. this morning. But she was saying, no, they don't give her a very good picture after the BBC. No, I'm not happy. I haven't won. You stop projecting. It was like the media loved to big somebody up just to knock them back down again. And she actually went to Twitter and says, look, it hasn't been declared. It's just projected. Because GB News were announcing that she'd won at the time this morning. Anyway, it was done and dusted by, I think it was around 6 this morning, 7, because I woke back up again and she had been announced as the first ever mayor of what they're calling Greater Lincolnshire, because they've as I said, they've merged up a few different councils and called them new things and whatnot. So she won, and I was absolutely over the moon for her. Now, I'm not sure whether you guys know this. I'm not sure whether you guys know, that really isn't a very nice picture of her at all, is it? But the Conservative Party have tried to destroy, have tried to get a better picture on this channel. What of her? What do you mean, a better picture? I don't know what you mean. Genuinely don't know what you mean. Hang on. I'm trying, all right? She's proper, like, she's not gonna put up with any crap, telling you now. All the pictures are terrible of her. You don't like my picture? I've got that picture because it's my avatar, but I can change the picture if you want me to. Happy? Well, the thing is, right, I'm going to put it back, because the thing is, that picture is my avatar on this channel. So I'm trying to grow the brand. So stop moaning, you. Hang on a minute. Oh, hang on. Shit. Delivery's here, hold on. Sorry about that. It's delivery. So now, I don't know whether you guys know about this, right? But do you know that what they did to Dame Andrea Jenkins was absolutely disgusting? They tried every which way to destroy her. They reported her to the police, saying that she did not live in her constituency. Now, She do, yeah. She didn't live in Lincolnshire, but she has ties there. And when you want to go to be a mayor or something, they like you to have, like, you know, live there or have ties. Now, her granddad's from there, and excuse me, I think she grew up there. She's got every right to be running for mayor. But the Conservative Party, because she left them and she was favourite to win, they didn't like it. So what they did was they tried to get her, they tried to get her arrested by police. They tried to get her in trouble any way that they could. Now, she got cleared. She was in court, what was it, just 10 days ago or so, just over a week ago. And Dame Andrea Jenkyns, they got her into court. Hold on a sec. Okay, we're back. So the dogs are back in now, but they were crying at the door, so they're going on their Madden again. So now, when that didn't work, all right, and they couldn't stop her that way, I'll give you a wrench in a minute, that hurt. I don't know whether you guys know this, but the weekend, they then went to the Sunday newspapers, right? And they said that she slept with her former boss. They tried everything to ruin this poor woman's life. Now, the reason why they said that she had two houses. The reason why she had two houses is because she's got a son who's got autism, and she needed she needed a place at a special school, and she needed somewhere for to live close to the school. And she had genuine reason for having this extra property or something. So she got cleared of that. And then when the Conservative Party realised that they couldn't get her that way, they then went and said that it was all over the Sunday newspapers. They said that she had slept with Boris Johnson. So it's really bad what they did. Let me just get this up and I'll show you. So this is why I am over the moon that this lady won. I've always liked her when she was a Conservative MP. She's a normal, down-to-earth woman. Let's get this up. And she's going to stand up for it. Now, she's saying today, hi, Nanny. She's saying today that migrants should be in tents. Yeah, they should. It's good enough for France, in Calais. They're in tents. So why can't they be in tents here? Why are we putting them in hotels? So look at this, guys. This was on the 22nd of April. Now, I don't know whether you guys missed this, because I think a lot of you might have missed this. Because obviously I follow politics. Don't lock them out this time, because it will upset them. By the way, hit the like, guys. Right, let me just give Nanny and her a spanner. You've got no subscribers, Nanny. I've just subbed to you. Hang on. What do you mean we've all been here years? What have I missed? I don't know. Anyway, moving on. So they then tried to destroy her. Now look at this. Now this, no one knows who started the rumour, but this, what they're saying, Tattershall councillor denies claiming that mayoral hopeful Dame Andrea Jenkyns slept her way through politics. Somebody in the Conservative Party, right, spread this rumour last weekend to the Sunday papers to try and destroy her by calling her a slag. This is really, really low. So she's accused this councillor of it. No, he's denying it. No one knows who originally started it, but that's irrelevant right now. But they tried to destroy this poor woman's life. So Lincolnshire County Council sitting representative and Conservative candidate for Tattershall Castle in the upcoming county elections has categorically denied accusing her of that. But it was all over the Sunday papers. Miss Jenkins, who served as an assistant government whip during the time as an MP under Boris Johnson, posted a video on X alongside Reform UK's Tattershall Castle candidate. In the caption, please vote for Sean Matthews for Tattershall Castle. The Tory candidate, who I've known for many years since I was a Lincolnshire County Councillor, spread lies saying I had slept my way, that's him there, weirdo looking, through politics. So yes, she did beat, was it Ed Balls? Just looking now. So they actually did this to her. It was all over the Sunday papers that she slept with Boris Johnson. Now she's a single mum, to say, to a disabled child. She works her arse off, right? And they literally tried to destroy her through the courts. They then tried to destroy her by slurring her and calling her a slag. It absolutely just horrible. So when she won, I was over the effing moon, guys. And in her victory speech, which I'll try and find in a moment, she actually makes a right dig at them. But then she says, I'm drawing a line under it now, and I wish them well. So well done. Yeah, inside vicious mayoral battle that's seen ex-Miss UK finalist Reform candidate hit by sex smears and reported to cops. See? She was reported to police. So I'm not just making shit up, folks. Look, I can back everything up that I say. She was an outspoken Brexiteer and she was too conservative for the Conservative Party. There she's beating Ed Balls, I was right. And there she's with Reform's Nigel Farage. She defected to Reform about a year or so ago. So congratulations to Dame Andrea. I'm so happy for her. Now, so they've won the MP. They've won the mayoral race in Greater, what they're calling Greater Lincolnshire now, Lincolnshire even. Let me just get a picture up of the MP that won. It's a lady, it was a female. Right, hold on. So then you move on to where I am now, East Riding, and everyone's saying it's going to be the next Prime Minister. And I think he will be. I really do. I think Nigel Farage, unless something major happens, he will be our next Prime Minister. So I don't know what they're going to do about Kemi Badenoch as well, because the Conservatives are nowhere. They are absolutely nowhere. So anyway, Sarah Potchin, that's it, Poaching, I don't know how you say her name. So she's won. She's MP. I'll just get a picture up of her here. Here you go. Again, thank you everyone for being here. I really, really appreciate you guys. So that's the new MP for Runcorn. Well deserved by Nigel Farage and the Reform Party. Now, going on to our local area, Hull and East Riding. So East Riding is its own county council and it's a rural council. Hull is its own council, right? And it is obviously a city. Now, by joining them together, they're still going to be run as separate councils, but they're going to have one mayor, right? We're going to have one mayor covering both. Now, for the Conservatives, they put forward our local, the leader of East Riding Council, to be mayor. This woman has worked her butt off for years for this area. She's been all these different jobs. She's done her own business, and then she's leader of the council. She's worked really, really hard, and I've got a lot of respect for her. And I believe in local elections, you should vote for the person, not the party. Now, I was really disappointed in who Reform put forward. They put forward Luke Campbell, who is an ex-boxer. He's from Hull. He knows nothing about the East Riding. He knows nothing about it's a rural county. He knows nothing about politics. He's never been a politician. He's a bloody boxer. And they put forward this working class lad, knowing that it would get the working class votes of Hull. Now, I was going to vote for the Conservative lady. Again, not because I like the Conservatives, because I like this lady. But I couldn't vote. This guy, he won by quite a big majority. I think he got like 10,000 more votes than her. Now, this Luke Campbell, I'm going to show in a minute. I'm really, really disappointed. He's calling us here East Yorkshire. I actually made a comment. He's calling where we live East Yorkshire. It isn't East Yorkshire. It's East Riding. It's Hull and East Riding. But he doesn't even know what the county's called that he's now mayor over. Let me just get him up. Why on earth? I don't get this. Why choose a boxer as a new mayor? What does he know about politics? He's awkward. He can't even look at the camera when he's talking. Look, he's not even looking at the camera. This is him here. Honestly, I was embarrassed when I watched. I thought I really wanted to support him, because I really wanted to support Reform in any way I can, obviously. But I just couldn't. I just couldn't. Right, look at this now. Right, this is our new mayor. Where's the audio? Why is there no audio?
And East Yorkshire. I cannot do it without you.
Guys, watch this now, right? So this is when he was yesterday before he got announced. People were still voting. He's not even looking at the camera. He's looking down and reading. Let's not forget, we are not called East Yorkshire. There's Hull and there's East Riding, and the new mayor title is Mayor of Hull and East Riding. County combined authority, right? He's calling us East Yorkshire. That's not even a thing. But look at him. He can't even look at the camera.
Good morning, everyone. The day's finally here. It's voting day. There is no win that's guaranteed. Everyone today, get out and
He's not even looking at the camera, look.
Vote.
He's reading.
If we want change, we've got to vote for it. So vote for me to be your first mayor of Hull and East Yorkshire.
No, East
Riding. I cannot do it without you. Thank you.
So that's who we've ended up with now. So thanks everyone who voted for him. I'm sorry, guys. He just comes across as a dingbat. So anyway, that's it. Yeah, he's reading the script. There's nothing about him. Now, if I show you videos, I haven't really got time, but of the Conservative lady, she actually knew what she was talking about. She's so down to earth, worked her ass off, knows the area inside out. So I was really disappointed in that. And I did say to him, it's not East Yorkshire, it's East Riding. You don't even know your own job title. So I'm disappointed in that. But I'm happy for Reform. So Reform have taken 2 mayors. Yeah. He is. Do you know what I think it is? Genuinely, I think it's because he's a Tommy Robinson look. And they wanted someone who was going to appeal to the white working class voter in Hull. Because Hull is a very working class city. And it is a very white working class city. So they wanted someone. And they've also, there's a lot of Tommy Robinson support in Hull. So they wanted someone who was going to come across as down to earth. Not a politician type. But they've forgotten about the East Riding, which is us, which is a rural county. What's he going to know about the farmers? What's he going to know about food security. Now, the lady, she was actually out with the farmers, sitting on tractors. She's been supporting the local hospital closure. She's worked her ass off, and I do really feel for her. I really, really do. But anyway, on this occasion, the country, well, the county, are so fed up with these two major parties. They've voted for reform, and I get that. I really do. But I just wish they would have looked at the people behind the party. On this occasion, I think they got it wrong. Dingbat. I remember that. Anyway, moving on. So we've got a Reform MP, and we have two Reform mayors. Now, Labour did get a few more people. You know, Labour in there, you know, they did get some other mayors. I think they won Doncaster again, which they've held. But let's not forget that these two new Reform mayors, it's a brand new mayoral position. We've never had a mayor before. Now, Keir Starmer didn't even turn up to hang on. He didn't even turn up to where when there's a local election, you normally turn up to try and back your MP. There's a by-election. He wasn't even there. He was not even there to back his MP. I think it's disgusting. So let me just have a quick look into. So Dame Andrea Jenkyns, hang on. I'm going to try and find her victory speech, but until then, let's have a quick look at the voting as it went. So this is it was England local elections, not UK. So look at this. You've got number of councillors now, and let's not forget, not everywhere voted. Conservatives got it stopped in certain counties, so that they didn't want any elections because they said that they didn't have time because they were changing authorities and whatnot. So let me know in the comments or in the live chat if you weren't allowed to vote, because I think we had someone the other day saying they weren't allowed to vote. So anyway, the ones that were allowed to vote, this is the election results here. So England council result, number of councillors. So this is the first time that Reform have ever had proper local elections, that the party has built up. And I will talk about Rupert Lowe after. Don't worry, Timmy's Pipco. If you're still with us, I don't know if you are. For Reform to be in government, they need to get grassroots. They need to get councillors. And this is what this election was all about. If it had all been razzmatazz and you know, all over the media, Nigel Farage, that, but the local elections wouldn't have come to anything, then we know that it would have just been a bit of a populist thing, and then it would have died. By getting councillors, like there's some councils where they've got complete control. They've got every councillor. So this was a massive test for Nigel Farage and the Reform Party, and they passed it with flying colours. So they've gone from 0 councillors to 677, right? So that is, they've got overall the amount of councillors. Now, the Lib Dems, people don't think about the Lib Dems, but I'm going to say this. Lib Dems usually do well at local elections. The reason why they do is because they usually have local people doing they actually have like a local councillor, not someone they just get in who knows nothing about politics. They very much focus on local issues. They usually mess up councils, but they usually focus on, they're very good at getting in locally in these sort of rural and semi-rural areas. They promise to look after the green belt. They'll promise the earth, and that they'll say we won't allow building on green belt, but they always give in. But they always do well at local elections, the Lib Dems do. Not in the major cities, it's always Labour, but in more rural areas, they do well. So they have gained an extra 163 councillors on last time. So they're now at 370. So in local elections, they're second. Now, the Conservatives, look at this, folks. This is absolutely shocking. They're on 317. They have lost 676 councillors, and Reform are up 677. So they've literally taken all of the Reform, all of the Conservatives, and then one. They've probably taken some from Labour as well. That's not all gone to Reform, but a lot have. Some of these probably went to the Lib Dems as well. So I'd say that Reform have taken a big bulk of that, but not all. They've taken some as well. Reform have taken some away from Labour, not just the Conservatives. Now look at Labour, guys. Locally, Labour have lost 186 councillors. They only have 99 now. That is dreadful. They're in 4th place. You've got your independents that have lost 20 and your Green Party. The Green Party are up 45, and that is purely because, again, they're talking about local things. They're talking about, we're sick of the green belt being built on all the time. So the Lib Dems and the Greens will really push that about local matters. Jules, have I given you a spanner, darling? Hold on. What's the matter, George? Right, now, hi Saskia. Where's Jules gone in the chat? There you are. I know you have got one. So, now, we've talked about the actual local elections and who's won what and what not. But now I want to talk about Reform. Now, it might be controversial. I don't know. Now, regarding Rupert Lowe, just hear me out. Now, I do like Rupert Lowe. I think he's a really, George, don't do that. I think he's a really genuine guy. He's got a lot of money. He owns a lot of businesses. I've looked into Companies House, and he's got some money, guys. I'm telling you now. One thing he isn't is working class, and I'm not digging him for that. Hang on a minute, George, for fuck's sake. Sorry, I'm back. He's not working class. Now, if you look on Companies House, I actually run out of time to look at all the businesses that he owns. I would say he's a multi-millionaire. All right. So I'm not knocking him for that. I think if you can work your ass off, I'm supportive of capitalism in that sense. So I'm not knocking him. But let's just bear in mind that this guy is got money. All right. So he doesn't have to worry about the cost of living crisis like we do. He looks like he's got more money than Farage. So he's sitting quite comfortably in that sense, all right? I'm not knocking the guy, but I'm just giving you some background on where we are. Now, he was a Reform MP, as you know. Now, he stood up against Nigel Farage and supported Tommy Robinson. Now, the Tommy Robinson thing, I'm going to have to do a whole new stream on that. That is going to need its own stream. I am not supportive of Tommy Robinson. I think Nigel Farage is doing the right thing by distancing himself from Tommy Robinson. And I'll do a separate stream and I'll give you my reasons why I'm saying that now. I used to support Tommy, but not again. Never again. Never again. And again, I'll give you my reasons. But Farage does right to stay away from him. Now, Rupert Lowe is very, very big on social media. He's in his little echo chamber. He's on X, so it's a free speech platform now. So he's doing great. But in the real world, how many of your average Joe on the street who would vote in a general election know who Rupert Lowe is? How many people know who Nigel Farage is? All right. So this is what Nigel Farage has had to think about. Now, I never used to like him. Then I went to liking him. And now it's like, do you know what? Out of all the idiots we have, is the best we've got. And there's a reason why Nigel Farage is coming across as quite centrist. He is to the right. But what people need to realise is that Nigel Farage doesn't want to be an alternative to the Conservative Party. He has taken bits from the left as well. He wants to nationalise British Steel. Now, nationalising British Steel is a left-wing socialist idea, not a capitalist idea. So people need to get it out of their heads that Nigel Farage and the Reform Party are right of the Conservative Party. The old left and right is done in British politics. It's over. Okay? Timmy's Pipco, hear me out, bud. Hear me out. All right? What, you're about 5%? It's over. There is no left and right anymore. There's parts of socialism, like British Steel should never have been sold to the Indians, to Tata. And then it went on to China. And so people say they don't like left and they don't like the socialists. Well, what do you think the welfare system is? What do you think the NHS is? What do you think that owning the public, like British Steel and the railway and all these things, they should have stayed under the government control. They should never have gone to private companies, because look what's happened. The country's been ripped apart. We've lost all of our industry. All that has been done in the name of capitalism, right? It's all been done about ripping things out, the highest bid. It doesn't matter where they come from. They can be from any country, selling it off. I don't agree with that. All right, I don't agree with that. So when Nigel Farage says he wants to he wants British Steel back under public control, the Conservatives are like, no, because they're the ones that sold it to the Chinese. I think it was Blair that sold it to the Indians, if I remember rightly, Tata Steel, whatever they're called. So Nigel Farage is not trying to be just a right-wing party, and to be in government in this country, the way that our system is, it's first past the post. We have to, if you want to be in government in the UK, you have to go from the centre. Nobody will ever get in if you go too far to the left or too far to the right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was Thatcher. Now, Thatcher was a capitalist. She's the one that wanted everything sold off. She didn't sell it to China because Tata had it first. The Indians had the steel first. Then it went off to China. Okay. So Nigel Farage knows. And this is where it gets murky with Rupert Lowe, because I agree with a lot of what Rupert Lowe says. I like his hard line, deport the lot, right? Okay, just bear with me, hear me out before you start screaming at me. Nigel Farage knows that to win an election on first past the post, you've got to go to the centre. He's got to get in. He has to get in to do any of these changes, right? To get, because Gordon Brown sold off our gold, remember, Timmy's Pipco? That gold. We've got no physical assets anymore. This country is all services. Physical stuff has gone. Gold's gone, manufacturing's gone, the industry's gone. We are literally importing everything and we export services. That's all we do. And you can this was all started by Margaret Thatcher. Now, a lot of what Margaret Thatcher did, I agree with, but not a lot, but not everything. They should not have sold off the council houses, should never have been allowed. Again, that's a socialist idea. Having council social housing is a socialist idea. For those people that say they don't like socialism, we are a socialist country with parts of capitalism in it. That's just a fact. You know, it's not, it sounds shocking, but it is a fact. You go to America, they are more of a capitalist country. If you want to rent, you have to rent from a landlord. There is a little bit of housing that's owned by the government. I think it's called Section, is it 28 or something? Section 8, something like that. But anyway, I digress. So Nigel Farage knows that if he is hard line on deportation, if he's hard line on Islam and all these other things like Rupert Lowe is, he knows he will not win an election. He'll be very popular by the Tommy Robinson lot and the so-called online right, but he won't win an election. Why do you think he got in a Muslim chairman? Because he's got to try and appeal to the neutral ground. Tony Blair did the same thing, New Labour. New Labour got in because Tony Blair took them from the far left to the centre. David Cameron got in because he took the Conservative Party from far over to the right to the centre. To get in, the first past the post in this country, you have to focus on the centre left or the centre right. That you won't get in. And look, here's your proof, right? Before Farage come and took over at Reform, where were Reform polling? Where were they polling? They were polling around 14%. It doesn't matter how much you might dislike Farage. He is the face of Reform. He was the face of Brexit, and he got Brexit done. Now, when the Conservatives actually went to do Brexit, they didn't actually do it. But Farage got him to win. Farage got Brexit to be, to happen. But it was the execution of the Brexit that didn't work because they didn't want it to. Neither Conservatives or Labour genuinely believed in Brexit. Boris Johnson didn't really believe in it. He never thought it was going to happen. So Farage knows how he's got to win. He knows the public mood in America as well, with Donald Trump winning. People have really, really had enough. People are looking to America and seeing all the nonsense being wiped out, all the dodge stuff. And Farage is like, yeah, we can start to slowly ride that train now. But Nigel Farage has been so clever. If he had gone along with Rupert Lowe and originally saying deport everybody, he wouldn't have been that popular. He's had to do it slowly. He knows what he's doing, whether you like him or not. Now, what did I say to you? What have I been saying for the past few years, everybody? They should deport everybody who came here illegally in the last 5 years. Gone. No appeals, no going through the system. If you came here illegally on a boat or a plane or anything, you are deported, gone, no questions asked. I've been saying this for years. Now, Rupert Lowe wants every single illegal that's ever been put on this shore deported ever. That's not doable. I know you're saying it is, but it isn't. It is not doable. You've got to get the public mood, otherwise you're not going to win an election. Once they get in, once Farage gets in, then he can start saying more hardline stuff. Then he can try and get the system changed, because first past the post is absolute tosh. It's always going to favour the two parties. We need proportional representation in this country. But if Farage just talked about one thing, and immigration, all the time, like what Tommy Robinson focuses on, he's never going to get in. So people that keep saying he's gone soft, he hasn't gone soft, right? He knows what he's doing. Like what Terry Knowles banned again, he is a genius, political. He's a chess player, all right? So we are where we are now. Now, what now Farage has come out with and said, I'm sure they're listening to my live streams. I'm joking, obviously. But he came out last week and he said exactly what I've been saying for the past few years, that anybody who comes here in the last 5 years is gone. He literally said what I've been saying. He didn't come out with it straight away. He was waiting for the mood of the public to see how they responded to Rupert Lowe. When he says deport everyone, he knew what he was doing. He knows that if he just comes out and says deport everyone, the mainstream media will destroy him. Because let's not forget, the mainstream media in this country are not journalists. It doesn't matter what side you go for, they all work for the government. If you want to, the mainstream media they decide elections. They will literally push a narrative. So if he goes too far to the right, the media, left and right, will just destroy him. And he's not going to get anywhere. What's the point? So he had to play it smart. He had to let people think for themselves and start to look around and see all these migrants everywhere. I'm seeing them where I live. I live in a rural part of the country, and I'm not being racist, but I could go a year without seeing anyone that wasn't white. And I know that sounds really weird. It was very shocking when I moved here from Birmingham, put it that way. Now, every single day they're walking past my house. I don't know where they're coming from. A lot of them are carers for the elderly. We used to have white carers. They've now got contracts in instead of having the council do it. So it's everywhere. It's around you. If it's happening where I am, and I'm in like way away from Westminster and all that, it's every little town, villages are changing. And it's not about being racist. It's about just flooding the country with people who don't share our values, who don't speak the language. They're just everywhere. And I'm sure if this was any other country in the world, if we was in, for example, Japan, and all of a sudden everywhere was white people taking over everywhere, they wouldn't be very happy. I wouldn't blame them either. So, excuse me, this isn't about racism. If people want to come over and work, that's fine. But they should have to know the language, and they should come here legally, not break in. If someone breaks into your house, you don't give them a little bit of an appeal before you ring the police. You just get rid of them. You don't just let them come in for a little bit. And let's not forget the Court of Human Rights. Now, this Court of Human Rights, the ECHR as well. I'm going a bit of a rant today. I'm sorry, right? But I needed to get this out. Do you know they can go against it if they want to? It's all bullshit. They only go along with what they want to go along with. If this government really wanted to get rid of the stopping the boats, they could do it without having to leave the ECHR. A lot of countries ignore it. They just ignore it. It's like, what was it now? Some countries ignore a lot of things, and they just don't do it. What they're going to do? It's that court who what court is it now? And it's the one that wants Netanyahu arrested. They want the leader of Hamas and the leader of Israel to be arrested, and I forgot what they're called now. But that's a court that has no jurisdiction really. The US don't even acknowledge it, but we do when it suits us. So they said, this court, and someone needs to remind me what they're called. They said, we think that you should look into, this is what they said to Conservatives a couple of years ago, we think you should look into possibly, maybe, handing the Chagos Islands to somewhere else. Okay? So looking into it doesn't mean you've got to do it. You can just ignore the court anyway. It's got no jurisdiction. But Labour jumped on that. Let's follow this ruling. They don't have to. It's like the ECHR. You don't have to do anything. If we go against the ECHR, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? They're going to do nothing. We've got weak leadership. We've got weaker than weak. If we didn't need to do the Chagos Islands, not only are we giving them away to Mauritius, who have never had claim on it and are in bed with China, we are paying billions to give something away. You could not make this shit up. And Starmer, people are letting it go. No one's talking about the Chagos Islands anymore. No one's talking about it. No one's talking about Lord Ali and his free suits and his free glasses and his wife's dresses. No one's talking about it. They should talking about this every single day. The right should be going constantly at Starmer, and instead you've got Rupert Lowe sat on Twitter every single day going at Farage. And that, I've always supported Rupert Lowe, and I do like him, right, and I do support him, but what he's doing is damaging by damaging reform. It is spiteful, and I totally get he's hard done by, but sometimes you've got to be the bigger person. There's massive ego clash going on with Nigel Farage and Rupert Lowe. Now, I witnessed firsthand a few days ago Rupert Lowe trolling Farage. These are two grown men. Now, he was then crying that that Reform blocked him on Twitter. I don't know if you guys seen this. Just let me just get this up. Just bear with me and I'll show you. I've been on one tonight, but at the end of the day, guys, I'm on the right channel for it, aren't I? I'm on my opinion channel. I don't just bring you stuff. I give you my thoughts on it. So I'm just going to get Rupert Lowe up here. And again, I like him, but he's not some poor old man. He's got money. So this was a Reform MP, as many of you are aware, but your average Joe in the street won't even know who this person is. Now, he's 67 years old and he's literally on Twitter all the time. Right, let me see if I can find what he was doing the other day, because he was trolling Nigel Farage. He had got clips of when Nigel Farage was saying about, you know, we can't deport. He'd clipped it. I'm just trying to find it now, just bear with me. Now, if you're going to take clips of what people say, right, out of context, which is what trolls do. Trolls clip me, they clip loads of people. They clip people and then it's taken out of context and then you need to hear the whole thing. So what he was doing was trolling. And I said to him, I said, listen, right, I don't know if you've seen it. I said, listen, I said, if you are serious about suing Reform, you need to stop trolling, because that won't get you anywhere. I'm just trying to find it now. Hang on. I might have gone past it, actually. The thing is, right, if Rupert Lowe is genuinely going to sue Reform, because I think he should, because what they said about him was absolutely abhorrent. They said that he had dementia, right? They were disgusting about him. I'm just trying to find this. It looks like he's deleted it, you know. I think he's deleted it, this trolling video. He was crying that Reform had blocked him, and I said, look, you're trolling him. He'd basically taken... Yeah, he's got rid of it. And it was pinned. Hang on a minute. Yeah, his pinned poster's gone, look. Let me just keep looking, hang on. Right, basically, right, there was clips of Farage in different interviews talking about not deporting people, but he was like edited clips, and he went and posted that on Reform's. I don't think so. No, he's probably blocked me. Oh no, he hasn't blocked me because I can read it. Oh no. He was posting these clips trolling Farage on Reform, where Farage was like clip saying, we can't deport because, and then another clip, and then it made it into like one long clip, which is just trolling. And I said to him, he said, oh, Reform have blocked me because I posted this on their page. And I said to him, I said, you are actively, you are a 67-year-old man. You are actively trolling somebody on social media. Do you not realise you're suing them for saying that you had dementia, which I agree with? Because even though I'm a Reform member, I'm still pretty neutral with this. You know, I can see the egos going at each other. I'm not a Nigel Farage fangirl by any long shot. Do you know what I mean? I never used to like him. I like him more and more now because he's been standing up for us, the banking and all that stuff. Anyway, he stuck to the banks, didn't he? He did that, and I appreciated that. And a lot of people, working normal people, could actually go to their bank and say, look, you back down for him, and they back down for the normal working man. And I did respect him for that. So I said to him, I said, they have said that you had dementia, which is absolutely disgusting. And it's obviously a lie. You clearly don't have dementia, right? And you've got it proof from the doctor. Therefore, how is that going to help your case in court when they show you trolling, actively trolling posting out of context clips of Farage and going on their Twitter page and trolling. That is not somebody. Now, to sue someone for defamation, you've got to prove that you've lost money, not just that you're upset. You've got to have caused alarm and distress, but you've also got to prove that you're out of pocket as well. Now, you're trolling them, so I don't believe he is suing them anymore, because that, to me, the act of trolling somebody is not a victim. They're both as bad as each other. I can't stand that Benabib. I think he's another little crybaby as well. Yeah, exactly, Terry Knowles band again. This is what I'm saying. He's got to get the normies. This is what people don't get. He's acting like a spoilt child. And I've noticed that people are even starting to say it now, you know. And he literally lives on X all the time. Now, he has put out this motion of this mass deportation, and he's saying that I think it's 3 now Conservative MPs have signed it. Now, Reform haven't signed it, but how can Reform sign anything that this guy does when he's actively trolling them and suing them? It doesn't make any sense. And then you've got people like, this is the online right. They're saying, you know, keep going, expose them like this to Reform. But can they not see the damage that they're doing? You know, and if genuinely, right, if Rupert Lowe genuinely cared about this country, he would just stop the bickering and say, right, I'm an independent MP now. I'm not with you anymore. I don't like you, Nigel. I regret ever joining your party. But, you know, let's just grow up. You do your thing. I'll do my thing. But he won't shut up on social media. He will not shut up about Reform. And he's coming across as whiny like Ben Habib and Nagy. And now he's saying he's going to start his own party. I'm starting to think that actually Rupert Lowe is actually working for the Conservative Party. I'm not joking. Hang on. Sending Al a message. Honestly, because think about it, right? Why would he do this? I understand. I totally understand that he's angry, right, Timmy's Pitco. I get it. Because I'm angry on his behalf. For saying that he had dementia is absolutely shocking. That's disgusting. But how is he helping himself by doing this? He is acting like controlled opposition. Check your WhatsApp. He's acting like controlled opposition. That's all he's doing. He's actually exposing Reform, unlike the Tories or the Labour are able to do. And let's not forget, he used to be a Tory party member. Let's not forget that. So he's winning the hearts and the minds of the online right, which is pretty big now because of X, and I respect that. All right. He's winning the hearts and minds, and he's turning people against Nigel Farage. Well, it didn't work. It didn't work, did it? Because we've just seen that with the results today. Hang on. Just looking at something quickly. Just bear with me. Right, so he was a member of the Conservative Party. He was a member of the Conservative Party until 1993, When he left due to his questioning of the Maastricht Treaty, he was elected to Parliament in 2024. We know that. So he was previously, hang on, right, Conservative until 93, and then it's got referendum 97, whatever that means. Just having a quick look. So I don't know. It's weird. I understand that he's mad, but surely he would be in the courts. You would go through the courts. You would not be trolling on social media. He's also suing them, because I don't know whether you guys are aware of this, right? He's also suing them because, you know, when that report came out about the saying that his own staff were violent or something and threatening the Reform chairman or something, this so-called independent report came out from their lawyer. Now, their chairman, that Zusif person, he named 4 of Rupert Lowe's employees in that, which he wasn't allowed to do. You can't just go naming people. Let me just show you a minute. Hold on. Let me see if I can find. He's definitely deleting stuff, you know, because there was more on here the other day. And just put this back on. Just bear with me a sec. Honestly, I'm in my element doing politics, because I stopped doing it on Penny Bunny, didn't I? Because it was, the thing is with Penny Bunny, I was doing animals, I was doing politics, I was doing news, and the channel was just exploding through animal shorts. So the people that were watching the animal shorts don't want to watch politics. A lot of them aren't from the UK. There's a lot of subscribers that are from, like, is it India and Russia? People that animal type, you know, that follow a lot of animal stuff. And that's why I decided to keep it separate. But I really need you to help me grow this little channel. So let me just see. Hang on a minute. Just hold on. I'm just trying to find this letter that he said, if he hasn't deleted it anyway. Look at him. He's constantly on Twitter all the time. Now, I'm not being funny, but let's not forget this guy is an MP. Where is he with his constituencies? How does he have the time to sit on? He's acting like a keyboard warrior. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, this is the. I'm going to start doing like a weekly news show on this channel and talking about what's going on in the news. Yeah, he's right. This election is about your local community, not grandstanding, not slogans, not empty noise, not ego, not protest. Vote for someone who has presented a credible, practical plan for your area. That's exactly, I agree with him. I don't dislike the guy. I'm literally, it's very difficult because I'm a Reform member and I think he would be a fantastic Prime Minister. But we need Nigel the showman. I'm sorry, but we do. I can't find it now. I'm looking for this letter. He posted an email. Yeah, this is it here, I think. Is this it? Right. His legal team have put here has served today. This legal DRM have served a letter of claim on Reform on behalf of 4 individuals working for Rupert Lowe. The action follows this is what I was just saying, the publication of an internal report commissioned by Reform UK, which publicly named them where there was no legal basis for doing so. So they named his 4 employees. Our clients wish to make clear that they strenuously deny the allegations made against them in the report and feel compelled to make this statement to correct the public record. Our clients are seeking a fair and reasonable redress that properly reflects the impact on them of the publication of the report. So that's like a letter before action that he's done to Reform. But look at him, he's sharing this person's posts Reform said they conduct their own inquiry. They didn't. Well, Nigel Farage is focusing on trying to get in. Yeah, he's removed that. He's removed it. You know, I said I left a comment when he was trolling Farage. It's gone because it was on the 29th. Gone. Yeah, Kimmy Badenoch's now backing Donald Trump style deportations. So, for those of you that are saying that Nigel Farage has gone soft on immigration, I'm just going to say this. Oh shit, wrong button. Hi, Sawum. Hang on. Just get back into my live stream. I'll give you a spanner, bud. 13 likes. Please hit the like, guys. It does really help this little channel. Once I get going on here, I'll do more streams and try and get the channel going a little bit. But I've been a bit moany tonight. But I am really happy about reform, but I am really miffed about this boxer. I'm not going to lie. I'm really peed off about it because he's come from nowhere and he just looks so uncomfortable on camera. He doesn't even know what he's talking about. He's reading from a script. He couldn't even say without a script, go on and vote for me. He couldn't even say that. He had to read, thank you Saskia, he had to read a script to say that. But do you know, a Bridlington, again, I'm trying to stay neutral, guys, right? Let me just show you something else in his Pitcoat, because I don't know how you feel about all this either. You know, all this reform, Rupert Lowe nonsense. Local to me, one of the reform councillors has quit the party. Hang on, let me just find it now. And I'll read you what she said. She went to X. Hang on. So, before this recent, massive election, local election win for reform, they had, from the previous election, a couple of councillors, not many, but they had a couple. And this was one of them. So this was on the 17th of March this year. Bridlington County Councillor Maria Boltell resigns from Reform UK. So local lady, councillor at my council, where I am. So East Riding Yorkshire Council, it represents the Central and Old Town Ward, has announced her decision to resign. Now, listen to this, because she's come out and spoke again since, but she said, the decision I've taken allows me to take more time, which I'm enjoying, blah, 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 blah. In a letter to the Reform Party leader sent on the 16th of March, Maria expressed her concern, stating, I've poured my heart and soul into the party. I'm hearing this over and over as well from different local councils, working tirelessly to support its growth and vision. However, I have increasingly felt unsupported and abandoned in my role. There does seem to be a lot of this, doesn't there? There's a lot of people, there's a lot of branches that are shutting down that were reform that are saying they're not getting any support. And there was also people saying that Yusuf was putting in his own people. I don't know how true this is. If it was one or two, but there seems to be dozens of these type of people leaving reform. But in their defence, in Reform's defence, they're saying that when these people got in, they hadn't done proper background checks, and the mainstream media were ripping them to pieces. Now, when you're doing a background check, you make sure there's no criminal record and there's no, certain things. Because of social media and because of how the left-wing media hate the right now, Nigel Farage and his Reform Party are under scrutiny unlike any other party. This is why I think they were doing this, getting rid of people and stopping supporting them. Let's just say this lady made a post on X in 2001. I'm not saying this happened, I'm just giving you an example, that said, I don't know, deport all these people from this country, or said something that was seen as racist, right? They would then dig it up, the media would, and use it to destroy that person and Reform. So the way that Reformer thought, right, well, we've got to be not just check for records and do basic checks. We've got to get someone to go through all of these individual, we want to stand for council, individual social medias and check the history out and see if they've ever said anything about such and such. Because the BBC and so on, and Channel 4 and all them, they won't do that for the Labour candidate, county council candidates, or maybe not even the Conservatives, certainly not for the Lib Dems, but for the Reform, they are going to go through everything. And that's what Farage is saying in his defence. The reason why they've abandoned quite a few local areas as Reform, and they're not happy with them, is because there's been stuff that's come up that would be used against them. And this is what people need to understand. Nigel Farage is under scrutiny, unlike any other party is under scrutiny. I'm just reading this now. It's all the Tommy fallout. Yeah, well, Tommy Robinson. Yeah, but I'm going to do a separate stream on that because it's quite a lot to go through. Good night, Saskia. Good night, Peaky. Look up Rochdale election fraud. I used to be a big supporter of Tommy Robinson. Infiltrators. Yeah, that's another thing what Terry Knowles is saying. Let's not forget that Antifa and Hope Not Hate and all that, they are infiltrating left, right and centre. So look at this, right? So she's put here, back in August 2024, this was what she said in March, I raised concerns with senior leadership about the need to prepare for the upcoming mayoral election, not just local council seats. I was reassured with promises such as you'll have a candidate before Christmas. Yet more than half of our mayoral candidates are still to be announced just over a week before nomination paperwork will be due. This chaotic lack of foresight was starkly evident when our candidate, Luke Campbell, who's just won today, this was back in March, she said this, was named for Hull without an agent. Here we go. Look, I'm telling you, it's farcical. Without an agent or any prior preparation, despite the party knowing his identity weeks in advance. So he got announced in the end of February as being our local mayoral candidate for Reform. But there was no preparation done. You can see he can't even like speak without having to read. It's embarrassing. So she came out because this mayor is over her as well. She's over the whole of Hull and East Riding, which is what Bridlington comes under. So she put here, she's put when he was named, no party communication with elected members or county organisers yet. So, for example, I didn't know that he was going to be a candidate until the media knew. I'm a member and I'm local. No tables for how people could support or any plan in sight, although I understand how busy and stretched your schedule is. This is what she wrote to Nigel in her resignation letter. You leaving the venue before even supporting our candidate in the press conference was like a reflection of how little care was given to this area. I sincerely wish Luke, who strikes me as a decent individual, the very best in his campaign. In August, I asked our party chairman, who's that Luke Zusif, what support will be provided to existing and prospective councillors and whether a councillors association was in development. I received no meaningful response until over 7 months later, when I was abruptly asked to chair this initiative and draft group rules with less than 8 weeks before local elections. While I initially tolerated these shortcomings, attributing them to the rapid scaling of the party, my patience has since worn thin. While I cannot abide is the apparent disregard for the hard-working and hopeful supporters who attend rallies, distribute leaflets and champion reform's message, nor can I ignore what I perceive as a lack of integrity and resolve within our leadership. The treatment of Rupert Lowe, in my view, crystallised many of these concerns and proved to be the final straw. I no longer trust our chairman has the leadership qualities or characteristics I would like to serve under. I want to be part of a party with substance and depths of policy and the character to see it through. I wish reform candidates all the support, blah, 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 blah. Da, 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 da. So there you go. That was her resignation letter. So when they announced Luke Campbell as Hull candidate, there was no team behind him. There's no PR. You can see how uncomfortable he looks. I've just showed you. You know, who is he? What does he stand for? What are his policies? I don't know what his policies are. Thank you, Lee. What are his policies? Thank you so much. It's on 0. No, that needed refreshing. It was on 13 last time I looked. Good night. Oh, I'm not going. Sorry. The night, Peaky. So, as you can see, right, I'm trying to be objective. I'm not a fangirl of anybody or any side. I want what's right for this country. And Nigel Farage is the showman, right? People saying that he's gone soft on this and gone soft on that. It won't even be him writing the policy. He's the person who gets on stage, gets people riled up and gets people going and voting for reform. Before he was part of reform, say we were polling at 14%, right? We weren't ever going to get many councillors at that, and we certainly weren't going to win a general election. So he's come in, and it's the energy that he brings, and he resonates with people. But to say that he has to be as right-wing as Rupert Lowe, if he did that, he wouldn't be able to get across. It's, for example, when he was going to go on that jungle, they asked him to go in the jungle the year before, and he said no. He says, "I'll wait." And he went in 2023, didn't he? Was it 2023 he went in? Yeah, it was. And when he says yes that year, people were saying to me, "Oh my God, this is disaster." Remember, he wasn't even back with reform then. He wasn't back in politics when he did the jungle. I think it was the end of 2023 or beginning of 2024. He wasn't even in politics. He'd left. He was doing his GB News show and he'd left. And when people said to me, "This is a massive mistake," I said, "This is genius. This is absolute genius." Because for all the people that say he's a racist, he's a misogynist, is this, is that, is all the phobias under the sun and phobic, whatever, they're going to get to see him. They're going to get to see the real him. Yeah, you're going to get people in there calling him a racist and all these things. But they're also going to get to see the real him. And this is where he can get the neutrals, you know, the middle grounders, the people that aren't interested in politics. Yeah, us lot, we're here now because we're interested in politics, and we know Rupert Lowe is, and we know a bit about it. But your average Joe in the street doesn't. The younger people, the youth, had to see him, and that really changed his perception. ITV thought they were going to get him in there and ruin him and make him look really bad. It didn't. It did the opposite, and it really, really helped his getting his name out there and who he was. And people were saying he's not that bad actually. He's all right, you know. So that helped, and that really helped get him back into politics. Because we forget that he's only just been back in politics. It was only, what was it, June, just before the election, that he changed his mind and says, "Do you know what, sod it, I'm going to run." Because he weren't going to run, was he? Because Rishi Sunak left it too late. He just announced it at the last minute. Do you guys know that there's a betting scandal going on? There's people being charged for that, you know. There's a few Conservative people who put bets on that being done in July that nobody knew about. Exactly, Timmy's Pipcoat. Let's not forget, reform is not just Nigel Farage, right? Look at Dame Andrea Jenkins. What a brilliant, brilliant woman. That I respect her so much. I really, really do. She is, you know, let's just imagine what the cabinet would look like. People are saying, oh, Reform couldn't form a government because they're just one man. No, they're not. They're not one man. You see one man because he's the showman. A bit like what Trump is doing. Trump is the showman, but there's people behind him doing all these policies for him. And let you know, look at the team he's got behind him. Now, the first time Trump got in, he had the old school Republicans behind him. This time he got his own people in. So Trump is the showman. Trump goes on the stage and he owns the stage, and he gets his message across. But then you've got people with him who are really working really hard to get these things through. So think of Farage like that. He's the one that gets the message across to resonate with people. And then you've got, I know some people don't like Lee Anderson. I can give, you know, I can take him or leave him, but at least he does have principles, and at least he's working class, and his dad was a miner, and he's very popular where he lives. And I think it's Mansfield, is it? Nothing like a Dame. She's great. She's great. And what they've done to her is absolutely disgusting. They tried to say she slept with Boris Johnson to get to where she was. How disgusting is that? How low can you go? Now, I wanted to get you some victory speeches up, but I've just seen the time. Let me see if I can find it. I was literally nearly in tears watching that. I was so happy for her. I really was. Let's see if I can find it. I think it might have been on GB News. Just bear with me a sec. I shall see if I can find it a minute. But it's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day for politics in this country. It's about time. Oh, apparently she stormed out of an interview.
Stormed out of a tense interview with Sky News after her.
Right, I don't know about that. I'm trying to find her victory speech. It'll be on their previous live shows, I'm guessing. I can't find it. Can't find it, folks. I'd have to go through the whole thing. They've not posted it as a video. Well, one last look. Yeah, she apparently walked out. We can look at that as well, but here we go.
Alex, a little bit later, because right now we're going to take you to Grimsby.
Look at this, is it here? I was so proud of this woman. Hang on.
Horsecroft, Sally Ann, The Green Party, 15,040.
BBC will probably strike me now.
Jenkins, Andrea Marie.
They don't own this. They don't own. Oh, it's Sky. It's all right. Right, let's just watch her victory speech. Listen to what she says.
And I do hereby declare that the said Andrea Marie Jenkins is duly elected as mayor to the Greater Lincolnshire Combined County.
This was like 6 a.m. in the morning. She looks fucked. Sorry. Bless her.
Thank you.
To the people of Lincolnshire, thank you for putting your trust in me. I will work tirelessly for you every day. To the council officers and everybody in this room who's shattered, I thank you as well. I thank my big sister, who's also my agent. She's a walking miracle. She nearly died, was in a coma a few months ago, and was told she'd never walk again. And she's here today. She's my election agent. To my team, to Max and the team, and all my amazing reform volunteers who've pounded the streets, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Now to Nigel, to Richard, and to Zia, and thank you for your friendship, for your support, and getting me through these last few difficult weeks. I'm immensely proud to be part of the Reform family, so thank you for welcoming me. And thank you to my friend Gloria, who's in the audience, for keeping me sane. Now, I've fought many elections, 4 general elections, my 3rd local election, but I'm going to be brief with this, don't worry. I've never experienced such negativity and soul-destroying.
Are you guys not seeing this? Sorry, I thought you guys had it on. For sake. Try again.
Campaigns against me like this one. It was
Listen to this, right?
The dirty tricks. 4 general elections, my 3rd local election.
Do you remember what I just was telling you before about what they did to her? This is what she addresses it here. Sorry about that, folks.
But I'm going to be brief with this, don't worry. I've never experienced such negativity and soul-destroying campaigns against me like this one. It was soul-destroying. The dirty tricks in the US politics, I believe it's now being imported here into Britain.
So she's talking about what they did to Trump and how they tried to destroy her. Hi, Catherine. How you doing, my lovely? Yeah, I know. Is that really you, Catherine? Because you've got no subs. I hope that there's not a troll cloned you, because they do that. Sorry about this, guys. AI, check your message, please.
The Conservatives called the police on me and
this.
implied I slept with political friends. They contacted the mainstream media to smear me. The Independent's husband pushed for a hearing at the council. My barrister had to represent me. The case was dismissed.
Yeah, it was dismissed last week. I was saying they've done everything to try and destroy this woman's life. It's disgusting. It really is. I was so angry at what they've done to us. So it wasn't just the Conservative Party, it was the Independent as well. The Independent candidate's wife reported her to the police. They knew she was going to get in. But you know what? Just like in the US, just like in the USA, it made Trump more popular and it's made Andrea more popular. Oh, they keep cloning me as well, but I've spoke to YouTube and I've got them removed. YouTube have said to me, right, if you carry, because I've got my own, like, because I've got like so many subs now, they give you like a partner support thing, a specialist. So now any issues with any clones or any trolls, I just speak to them. There was a clone of me that's now been terminated. And they're also looking out for others. So apparently if they keep on cloning me, then YouTube are going to give me the verified tick. So let them carry on, because I'll keep reporting them. They'll keep getting removed. They'll be IP banned and I'll get my verified tick. So just saying, I don't like playing the victim. I never moan about anything. I let them carry on with their fucking clones and all that bullshit. I just ignore them. But it's backfiring now, isn't it? It's not working very well. So hopefully I'll be getting my verified tick quite soon. Anyway, moving on. Let's listen to this. She's she's a legend, man. Thank you, Saskia. I don't normally bother, but I thought, you know what? People are constantly thinking that it's me. They're going in trolling people, and people going, "Are you in such and such? Are you in?" Who was it the other day? Somebody messaged me and said, "You told me you were going to bed." I'm like, "I am. Why? I was in bed. You was using such and such." No, I wasn't. And they're like, "Oh, it's a clone." So I was like, I had enough of this shit. So I spoke to YouTube, and because I'm a YouTube partner, they support me. So yeah. Anyway, let's just finish listening to Andrea. Honestly, this lady, man, I'm so proud of her for winning. I really am. It doesn't work. When are the left going to realise that these dirty tactics, and just all of them, and Conservatives, it won't work. It will not work. It's made her more popular.
The campaign was also filled with irony. As one of the candidates stated, I was parachuted in. She said in her South African accent. Now, they undemocratically tried to remove me from the ballot. But I will say no more on this, and I wish them all well. Because this is insignificant now, and I'll draw a line under it.
Yeah, well done. You can see she's a poor woman. She's exhausted. She's been up all night. She's knackered. She's just scared if she says too much, she's going to be sued. So she's just got to be really careful how she words it. But I think she does really well considering how tired she was.
Now, ladies and gentlemen.
Can you imagine being up all day and up all night, and at this time, at the morning, 6 a.m, you're like, you've had a drink and that as well, and you've got to give this victory speech. I think she did really well.
We have a new dawn in British politics. Is that a sign? The rebuilding begins here. Now, Britain, we're going to have a Britain where we put British people first, where we put you and your families first. We'll make sure that you are in front of the queue, and you are at the heart of our policy decisions. Today, we as Reform, as we're making gains up and down the country, you will see an end to soft-touch Britain. The fight back to save the heart and soul of our great country has now begun. Now that Reform is in a place of power, we can help start rebuilding Britain. Inch by inch, Reform will reset Britain to its glorious past. We will tackle illegal migration. We've been working on policies. I say no to putting people in hotels. Tents are good enough for France. They should be good enough for here in Britain. But I take my hat off to our great leader, Nigel. Now, he has fought for decades, and he still fights for you here today. And I know one day he will make a magnificent Prime Minister. Now, to the people of Lincolnshire, I will fight for you. I will not shy away from asking tough questions and challenging the two-tier system that has broken Britain. With me as your mayor, I will always put you first. I will keep your taxes low. I will work with you, with our industries, with our business, and with our young people. And together, it's time to heal. We will deliver a once-in-a-generation change. I will lead with a sword of common sense and cut through wastage and bureaucracy. I will fight for the heart and soul for our farmers against this god-awful Labour government. And I will fight against the destruction of our countryside by Ed Miliband. I will fight to ensure Lincolnshire is the best place to live, to work and retire. But most importantly, as a mum to my precious gift in the world, my 7-year-old son Clifford, just as I fight for him and his future, I will fight for your children's future. I will fight for your children's future in this great county that I grew up. Thank you.
So happy for her, honestly. And now the BBC have apparently really pissed her off. Let me just see if I can find that. What a speech, though, considering as well how tired she must have been. Hang on a minute. See if I can find the clip. The clip.
Soul destroying. It was, I'll be honest, I had
Right, apparently she walks out of an interview. Watch this and I'm going to go because I'm just ordering some food. Good night, Timmy's Pipcut. Yeah, I don't normally stream this late, and I'm telling you, I'm not doing it again because look what happened with the dog. The dog's asleep now. Right, I'm going to go in a sec, but apparently she walks out of the interview.
Nights. I've never experienced anything like it. It was emotional. It nearly broke me, if I'm honest, emotionally. And I'm a strong person.
What do you think Reform is offering that the other parties weren't?
Honesty. What you see is what you get with Reform. And I think that, look, we've seen apathy is an all-time high. We've seen that angry in politicians is an all-time high. And Reform offers honesty, it offers hope. And what unites, I mean, we've pulled from Labour and Conservatives. We unite for our love of our country, as Nigel says, for family and for community. And this is where the rebuilding begins.
And just final question, you're going to have to work with fellow Conservative
Yes.
leaders on the Greater Mayoral Committee in Lincolnshire. Are you going to be able to do that after the divisiveness of this campaign?
I'm going to be the bigger person. I mean, look, don't forget, I was a government whip. I worked even with opposition then. As a Conservative MP, occasionally I was in the opposition lobbies. So I always lead with my heart, and I always do what's right, and I'll do what's best and what's necessary for the people of Lincolnshire.
How much pressure is there on there now for you to actually deliver?
Oh, completely. Look, gosh, I take this seriously because a lot's resting on Reform's future for anyone who gets elected, all the councils up and down the country that we will take control of. You know, it takes it from being a protest party to showing what we can do in power. So this, I will not overpromise. I will deliver what's achievable. Because from here, it's these pivotal moments. We've got the elections in Wales next year. We've got the elections in Scotland. And then the general election. We've obviously got elections here in 2 years' time as well, haven't we? So I will deliver. Yeah.
Can I just ask about the nature of the campaign? You said it was a dirty campaign, but you just used your speech to smear other candidates and to bring up all of that dirty laundry. Do you think that's appropriate?
Well, I ask you, if the police was called on you for something unfounded, if you was reported to the council for something that was unfounded, wouldn't you want to speak out about it? I've always been honest. I was honest about Conservative Prime Ministers when I was a Conservative, so I will always call out bad behaviour.
But you're elected to be a representative for this county now, first mayorship. Do you think it's appropriate for a politician to be speaking?
I think it's important to restore trust in politicians by speaking the truth. In my 9 years as an MP, I always spoke truth to power, even if it was the Prime Minister. I will continue doing that.
I mean, all the candidates left halfway through your speech. They were so disgusted by what you said. I spoke to the Tory candidate. He left when you said... He left when you said migrants should be put in tents. That's good enough for France. That should be good enough for them too. Do you think that's a divisive way of conducting politics?
I think it's what the majority and the silent majority think.
That's what you think of migrants. That's where they should.
And well, illegal migrants, people come here illegally. They should be put in tents like they do in France.
People seeking asylum should also be put in tents.
Well, I think genuine asylum seekers, you know, like Ukraine, etc., that's a different matter.
And then you also accused one candidate of, she said you were parachuted in,
Yes,
and you made
a
a comment about her South African accent. What did you mean by that?
Well, what I meant is, how can they say I've been parachuted in when I spent most of my life in Lincolnshire, school?
Why mention the accent, sorry?
Because the irony of saying someone's been parachuted in who's not even from the country. I mean, went to school, college, university. So I think
So someone who's got an accent can't be from this county.
I think actually, I'm not even going to answer any more of your questions. I think that your questioning is quite divisive. You're looking into things when it was a little play with words. It was a little joke because of the irony. Do you not understand irony?
The only reason I'm asking is because Reform get they get a reputation for these divisive politics.
Questions. Thank you very much. Thank you. A sensible question. Thank you. My first day on the job is going to actually
Owned. Completely owned. She owned that BBC scumbag. Anyway, I'm going to go now because I've been on for nearly 2 hours plus the half an hour before. Nah, she would be a fantastic prime minister. I'm with you. Most women, yeah, but she would be brilliant. Really like her. Right, anyway, I'm going to get off now. So if I do a stream tomorrow night, I don't think I will, but I might start doing some music streams on a Saturday night, but there won't be the sort of music that most of you like. I might do a little bit of Ministry of Sound, a little bit of trance, a bit of dance. I doubt she would on my, hang on a minute, Rabbit of Carabanog channel. I've got so many fucking channels. I should have turned that one into my politics channel because that's got over 1,000 subscribers. But I just need to grow this channel. But I might do a little bit of an hour or so of a bit of dance, trancey music on a Saturday night. So, because I love that sort of music. I don't know, we'll see. If I do, it will be, I'll post it on my Penny Bunny community tab. Yes, I don't have a city, but we've got a new combined authority, Lance, of East Riding and Hull. And so Hull is then, and then the Met has took over the rural county where we are. Anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed my insight. I know you're not all going to agree with me, but that's fine. But it's the whole point is that we have a discussion without falling out. But I will do a separate one on Tommy Robinson, and I'll give you my reasons why I don't like the guy. I think he's definitely controlled opposition. I think he's there to cause division. He's a scammer. He's puts most of his money up his nose. And that's been verified by many people that were close to him, including someone that worked right with him for everything. So I don't really want to name any names because I don't want to get in trouble, but I've had first-hand people telling me that all he ever does is up his nose, and then he had his teeth done with his turkey teeth, and it's just, yeah, I'll explain more on a separate show. All right, I did used to support him. I support what he stands for, but I don't support him, the person, because he knows exactly what he's doing and he's causing division. Look what he's done with Reform. Look, it's all about him. No, not Farage. Tommy Robinson's a cokehead. You can tell by his nose. It's been confirmed by, gosh, I think he even admitted it, but he reckons he stopped it anymore. Exactly, DJ Rotford. Let's not forget he's a convicted fraudster. And he assaulted a female police officer. Are you not subbed? Yeah, it's been confirmed, like, allegedly anyway, that's where his money goes. And a lot of people, not just one or two, have all said the same thing. I don't want to name any names, but they've said that he shoves it up his nose, and these are first-hand accounts. There's also the fact that his mate Danny Tomo, who's been working with him for years, was allegedly sleeping with the Telford victims, sleeping with them, the girls. So there's so much to unpack. There's reports of him being a police informant. we'll unpack it on a separate show. Hang on. Right, I need to order my food because it's about to shut. But it's called the Rabbit of Carabanog, Lee. Anyway, I've got to go because I'm going to order some food because the thing's about to shut. But I will see you all either tomorrow or Sunday. We'll be back on the normal channel on Sunday. If I'm out and about the weekend, I'll probably do an out and about stream as well. We'll see. I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. All right, guys. Good night. Thanks for joining me, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Good night. God bless. Bye.